All right guys, the front subframe from Ronin Speedworks finally came in, and let me tell you, this thing is gorgeous. This is usually used for LS swaps. So it comes with these front engine pedestals that are normally welded in place right there and right there. We asked that these didn't get welded in so that we can put them wherever we want. So we can have the V10 sitting exactly where we want it, and then we will just make our own engine mounts. But before we jump into that and get the engine secured to the subframe, we have a bigger problem that we need to deal with. And that is that the steering rack is sitting too high for where we want the engine to be sitting. So the plan today is we're gonna bust apart our factory front subframe. We're gonna take that steering rack, bring it over here, and we're gonna do all of the modifications that we need to get it sitting lower where we're happy with it, and then we can have the engine sitting exactly where we want. So let's go get started with that. We've got a whole bunch of stuff to do. Yeah, so if you take a look from over here, kind of what we're thinking is that if this can be the tallest height, we can have the oil pan sitting just higher than this. So if we are able to lower the rack enough to be there, then we can just have the whole pan at this height.
Yeah, that makes sense. So maybe what we should do is just completely cut away the mounts that they have now, and then just kind of work from there, making our own mounts that sit below the subframe.
Yeah, and then it looks like we'll also have to notch out part of the subframe here, just because that's getting awfully close.
Yeah.
But that's okay, we can reinforce that afterwards.
Yeah.
Only other thing I'd like to do before that is I just want to mark the measurements of how far the holes are from the center, just so that when we put the new mounts on, that they can be the same forward-backwards position.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Still need to do a little bit more cleanup right in the edges, but we're getting to the point that we kind of need like a reference point of where the rack's going to be sitting. So with the mount that we took off, what we're going to do is we're going to flip it upside down, and then it's going to kind of cup it from the bottom. So we marked it out already, so we're going to cut this section off so that it can actually fit around here and hold it in place. And then once we have it cut, we're just going to reinforce it on the bottom so we get that strength back into the piece. So we're going to do this piece first, and then once we have it here, we know where the rack is going to sit, and then we can do the finessing on this side and then get it level and then get it in place on that side too. So we're going to get this one cut up and then try it again.
Okay, so this mount is now welded in place, and we bolted the rack up to it, so it's sitting where that side needs to. And then we're bolting up the mount for the other side to the rack, and then we're going to set it so that it's level with the subframe and then weld that side in. So we're just getting the final adjustment for where we want that mount.
A little bit of tweaking.
Because we're just going to scooch this mount over as far as we can so that it's just not going to be any concern at all with the oil pan.
Yeah, because again, the pan is 11 inches wide, which is right here. So if we can have this mount over even another ½ inch, we can probably just get the pan centered in between these two mounts rather than having to completely cut them up and be losing that ½ inch.
Yeah. So once we get that guy in place, weld that guy in, and then mounting is done, then just reinforcing a couple pieces, and then it's all done.
All right, we got this mount welded on and it's looking pretty good. We were very careful to keep the forward and rear positioning the exact same, so all we've changed is the up-down. So we'll tweak that in the rest of the steering later on, but for now, again, we're just concerned about this. So up next, we're going to put the steering rack back on here and we're gonna bolt everything down, because what we have to do next is add some reinforcement on the bottom of these mounts, just because right now they will bend if we don't add anything. And then, so once we have all that set and we have the U-channel that we weld on here on the bottom, we'll take everything off, clean it all up, reinforce back here, close this off, and then we're pretty much gonna be done for putting the steering rack on this subframe. So that's that'll be really exciting, because this was definitely one of the bigger hurdles for us to take care of.
Alrighty, the subframe is all wrapped up for today. As you can see, in here is all nice and smooth now. These mounts are all finished up, looking real nice. Clayton's coming with that steering rack. We'll show you guys how it's sitting on the subframe now. A whole lot better than it was before.
Also, it's going to sit a little bit lower than that too. It's just not bolted in right now, so it's sitting a little high.
As you can see, it's almost perfectly flush with the subframe, so we'll be able to lower the engine just that much more, hopefully fit it underneath a stock hood.
Yeah, we'll see. That's optimistic, but like regardless, it's going to be an 1.5 inch lower, the whole thing. So even if it just prevents us from cutting the entire intake manifold out of the hood, that would be a good start.
Yes.
So, but yeah, this is one of those things that no one's ever going to really notice. It was a shit ton of work, but it's one of those jobs that you know that you need to do, and like you get it off the list and you don't need to do it again. So
hopefully not anyways. Hopefully we didn't forget anything.
If you guys made it this far, thank you for watching. Hope you had fun. We had fun. And we'll see you in the next video.